Yes, yes, yes. Sunday morning, July 20th, RadioTitans.com. The Sunday Show with Johnny O, the great Walton Jordan.
And you see it come crashing down on your wasted life. You fall on your wasted life, and you feel it as it rips you away from your wasted life. Fall on your wasted life, and it grab you and carry you away from your wasted life, from your wasted life, and it touch you, ask you if you're alright on your wasted time, all on your wasted time. Come on down and see it, see where it leads. I've got nothing and you've got me. Come on down and see it, see where it leads. I've got nothing and you've got me. Come on down and see it, see where it leads. I've got nothing and you got me. And we're all on top, some are down to die. When our pulse stops, we're all born to cry. I shot Johnny in the back again. Come around, baby, and you meet my friends. I shot Johnny in the back again, 'cause I believe it. I shot Johnny in the back again. Come around, baby, and I do it again. I shot Johnny in the back again. I shot Johnny in the back again. Come around, baby, and you meet my friends. I shot Johnny in the back again, 'cause I believe it. I shot Johnny in the back again. Come around, baby, and you meet my friends. I shot Johnny in the back again, 'cause I believe it. I shot Johnny in the back again. Come around, baby, and you meet my friends. I shot Johnny in the back again, 'cause I believe it. I shot Johnny in the back again. Come around, baby, and you meet my friends. I shot Johnny in the back again, 'cause I believe it. I believe it. I believed it. I believed it. I shot Johnny in the back again. Come around, baby, and I do it again. I shot Johnny in the back again, 'cause I believe it. I shot Johnny in the back again. Got a problem with it, and I'll do it again. I shot Johnny in the back again, 'cause I believe it. I shot Johnny in the back again. Got a problem with it, and you meet my friends. I shot Johnny in the back again. Got a problem with it. I shot Johnny in the back again. Come around back and you meet my friends. I shot Johnny in the back again. And come and see it, and I'll do it again. Do it again. There's no return to what you need. 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 There's no return
back.
Back here on a Sunday morning on RadioTitans.com. I just was shot in the back again, I guess, apparently, because I am Johnny.
Tupac, you get shot every other
I
week.
get shot all the time. You know, it happens. It happens.
But you like Tupac, though. You get shot 5 times, you smile, and you come up with a new rap.
That's right. That's right. Well, a new rap. Yeah, it's true because I am the world's greatest rapper alive, I heard.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But they wouldn't let you record just because you was going to blow all the brothers away with those amazing rhymes.
That's
so
true.
they're just like, no, you can't do it.
This white boy is too dangerous.
You're too dangerous.
We'll
We're going to go with Eminem instead of Johnny O.
That's right. Because fuck Eminem, you know, he's all right.
Don't talk about Eminem.
He's just not as good, you know.
You are out of your mind. That white boy is amazing. I tried my best not to like him when his first album came out.
Yeah, but he's pretty good.
I was just like, okay, he's good, but this is a fluke.
Yeah.
And then he came out with that second album.
It's pretty good.
I said, oh my God, this guy is... Because one of the shit he was coming up with, dog, was just like...
Yeah.
Well, it was like completely different and the same all at the same time.
He had something to say.
And it was wild.
Well,
He had something to say.
He possibly, and I don't say that very often, but very possibly, I think the early Eminem stuff was somewhat inspired. It was
But 8 Mile was an amazing piece of work to be able to translate that to a feature film.
Well, no,
and tell his story.
In order to update Flashdance into a modern hip hop genre film, just was amazing because I just loved that he took the story Flashdance and turned it into something.
Well, he didn't do it.
Well, you know,
some creative writer did.
Dude, Flashdance wasn't the originator of that plot.
Yeah, but it is Flashdance, though. I don't know.
I mean, it all is. We were.
It's got some pretty good scenes. I mean, it's a pretty much. There's some scenes that are like almost completely the same. Where he's working in the stamping plant. It's
Björk was working in a stamping plant for Dancer in the Dark. You're gonna say she ripped her off too?
No, because that's still Flashdance.
She made a whole
but we're talking the same.
Number.
Come on, the same.
She turned a whole
city,
dance number.
The same city, the same industry.
No,
she wasn't in
Flashdance
Detroit.
was in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
That's the same thing.
No, it's not. Philadelphia
isn't it the same thing?
And she worked at a steel mill.
Welcome to the Sunday Morning Rock and Roll Thesis Defense Committee.
Yeah.
And I love Flashdance. I'm sorry. I can't help it. That movie was awesome when I was a kid. I watched it like 20 times with 20 different people because everybody wanted to see it. And I was like, fuck it, I'll watch it with you.
He watched it by himself.
No,
quietly.
No, I can't.
When no one was around.
No, I can't.
His pants off.
No, there was no nudity in that movie.
It's all right. She was just...
No, I had
Cinemax. It was sexy enough as it was.
I had Cinemax. I didn't have to do that. My mom gave us Cinemax. So we were good.
That's good. Nice.
Cinemax After Dark.
Cinemax After Dark.
That's right. Cinemax.
Yeah.
If you ever wanted to pull your pants down, that was the time.
Wow.
Oh, I missed.
So what's the theme for today, Johnny O?
I'll tell you what the theme for today
Feels
is.
like high summer to me.
It is high
Dog
summer.
Days.
It's one of those dog days, and we're gonna listen to we're gonna do something that we haven't done here yet. And we're going to listen to a whole album. One of the local bands that I actually was lucky enough to see these guys play on Friday night at the House Blues in the Parish Room, and they gave up the stage so that a shittier band could play main stage that night. Pennywise, everybody knows Pennywise. I've been talking about this because it's one of those things where it is a real definition of where you're from. A defining moment is whether you know who Pennywise is or not, because I've noticed that's how you know if you come from a really white suburb or not, because all the kids who come from the white suburbs, oh yeah, Pennywise, oh yeah, oh absolutely know who it is.
You know how I feel about hanging out with white people.
It's all right.
It's I every now and then I do it because I live downtown and it occurs to me I'm just like, man, I miss white people, and then I end up at one of their parties on the west side. I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's why I don't hang out with them at all.
I'm always like, white people are so boring, but then I go to their parties, and, they're not as fun, but I have a great time. And then I go to a black party, and I'm like...
Yeah.
And then I like, oh, this is why I like hanging out with white people, because niggas don't know how to act, man. Straight up.
That's fairly true.
Let me tell you, there was a funny one because it was like, I didn't even know about this party. It was like somebody had handed me the invite, and it looked like it said something Brazilian. And I was like, great, I love Brazilians. And the only people that hit me up that night was Chelsea Monet and Stephen Trotman. And they're just like, what's going on tonight? I'm like, I don't know, some kind of Brazilian party, man. So I sent them the address. And I walk in there, and I'm the white guy there, right? And I walk in, and of course, I love them dearly, but they're hiding in the corner because they don't know anybody. And I wanted to go find out the girl who was in charge of the magazine. Evidently, the only pictures was of Brazilians. But everybody there was just like, it was great. It was like a magazine release party, and they were playing everything from started with trap music and kind of classic hip hop, and then ended up like classic R&B. Just great freaking music. Everybody dancing. That's my kind of party, you know. Like I don't care what color people are, as long as you dance and sing and have fun.
I went to school with a Brazilian girl, man, who was just so gorgeous. I went to UCLA Extension program for 2 years, and she was in every class of mine. And we teamed up on. When we first got in that class, she would not talk to me. She would not look at me. She totally ignored me, which was cool because she didn't know me. Mm-hmm. And but everybody was like picking sides of like who they wanted to act with and stuff like that. And nobody wanted to be my partner, which was cool because nobody knew me, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
They were racist.
Well, no, I was the big black dude, and I wasn't racist. I just had to prove myself because once we got our scenes and I got a chance to shine. Everybody wanted to be on my side. And she was the main one.
Well, you are the man in demand, though.
Well, I just did a good job. You know what I'm saying? My teacher was like because my teacher had pulled me out of the class when I first started and told me that he was willing to give me my money back and that this class is not for quitters and for I said, well, if you want to give me my money back, that's fine, but I'm not quitting. I said, now, if you kick me out, that's different, but I'm not quitting. And I didn't quit. And it worked out to my advantage, man. I mean, it was just like the best 2 years of my life.
I like you were saying, though, about the black party is about having fun at a party with dancing and that. I like that, but I kind of prefer the suburban white kid party.
They stand around and smoke and drink.
I like
the
ones where it's even better, like the real suburban white kid parties. Where it's not even a party, it's a
just alcohol.
No, we called it a kickback when I was a kid.
That means really nothing's happening.
Meant that we were going to go and listen to Steve Miller Band, followed by Pink Floyd, and smoke a lot of pot.
This is why I have to speak out. It's like, what is wrong with my people? They don't know how to party. It's sad.
I disagree.
It's like a medical issue.
I disagree.
That's not true because in the woods where I'm from, they party.
Yeah, that rednecks know how to party.
Yeah,
we light shit on fire.
Yeah, we have bonfires in the barn, and we get a band out there that was nowhere near as good as these bands out here. And dude, we jump around like idiots, and we even had the parents. Like we even had parents coming, not to fucking scold their kids, but to fucking just jump around and drink beer. You know, like literally, dog. Like we would have some. Fucking
so maybe it's not a racial thing. Maybe it's a suburban thing.
Yeah, I think it is.
That's the thing. Is like suburbanites.
Well, I'm a
God,
blue collar.
Parties are boring.
I'm not upper. I'm not upper middle class. My mom was military, so I guess we're like blue collar middle class.
Solidly middle class.
Well, at least if you're out in the country, you can have a bonfire.
Yeah, we had lots of fires. Lots of fires.
Yeah, you get to
everything
in the suburbs.
Something's going
in the
on.
Suburbs,
you can't do stuff because someone's going to call the cops.
Yeah, someone's going to call the cops. You make too much noise past a certain time, and the neighbors are getting mad and.
Yeah, you got to be able to. You got to demolish. Or
worse,
buildings.
They won't even call the cops. Like in my mother's neighborhood, like at my ancestral home, like they won't even call the cops. What they'll do is, my neighbor will bitch at my mother the next day. The neighbors will come over to my mom's the next day at about 11 o'clock in the morning with a fruitcake or something. And complain about how loud the boy was last night,
Yeah, I mean, even in the countryside, the village will talk. I mean, we've caught sheriff surveillance out there checking out our parties because, occasionally people take off their clothes and stuff. And so as a result, and the sheriff's got nothing else to do out there. I mean, there's no actual terrorists.
I was a sheriff, I'd be looking at the kids taking their clothes off.
I totally understand. And so what we do is we had one guy who had this great old truck. That was like a hot rod, so he could do these burnouts. So he would roar up on sheriff surveillance because they'd be sitting on the hood of their car watching through these big binoculars our party. And so he'd come roaring up around the corner, roar, and then do the burnout right next to them. And they'd go flying off. It was hilarious. I mean, for me, that was half the fun of the party was fucking with sheriff surveillance.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and that's because we would pop up on the hill and be looking at them through binoculars and just have a good old time because we were drunk crawling around in the mountain, you know. And so that's what I'm talking about is that, you know, in the countryside you kind of have space, but you still have the village effect of my mama's going to hear about it.
Yeah.
You know, like it will get back through that. We heard you was out there listening to devil's music with Satanists and Mexicans. And I was like, well, yeah.
Yeah. Blood orgies.
It was Friday night.
What else are you going to do but have a blood orgy?
And it wasn't exactly satanic. It was artistic, okay?
Well,
People were from San Francisco.
It's too bad.
What are you going to expect?
But you got a lot of church people. They don't believe in people having fun. Like,
we don't have too many church people where I'm from. They ran out of church people so fast that they had me do the Easter service on 2012.
it was like the greatest thing.
Scary, people. That's scary.
The church where I'm from didn't even realize the favor they were doing young boys by being so strict on girls. I mean, they really did us a favor by being so strict on those girls.
Oh, you mean repressed?
Repressed
religious girls.
You learn to realize that the more.
It's the best makeout session
It's like
ever.
it's like
when I
these
was a
parents
kid.
and these churches and they're trying so hard to protect people that all they're doing is just helping young perverted boys.
Yeah. No, that's they're because they're building it up. What's basically nothing. I mean, it's the way the species is propagated. Let's be honest. But other than that, no big deal. But they turn it into this huge deal where it's like that's all that's going on. And for me, that was amazing. I realized, like especially State College, boy. I realized if you want to protect your daughters, do not have them have a strict religious upbringing. Because when those girls go buck wild,
they go buck wild.
They won't know what to do. They've never been to the clinic. They don't know how to handle it. And boys, too. That's my thing is when you grow up hippie, like you're like, oh, no, you don't take those pills with that drink. Oh, no, because you see your parents do that. You're like,
this much
then we're up
cocaine,
all
kids.
night with the ambulance. So,
That's right.
You know what I mean? That's why you should grow up hippie because you don't touch that stuff. We're the most conservative kids in the
hippie girls
world.
were, I mean, like they got down and they had a good time, but they did it in such a way that it was like, whoa, you know. I mean, they did it.
Advantage of you.
They were taking advantage of you instead of you. Like, I mean, like these girls,
which I much prefer, by the way.
Like you have these girls where I'm from, and they have the long dresses, and I mean, the only thing they want to do is just take their clothes off and feel free for just a moment.
Honestly, everybody, isn't that what we all want, is to take our clothes and feel free? I'll never forget that thing. It's like a typical party in Santa Cruz. There you are, stark naked. You're not really sure you know anybody, but everyone's having a good time in the pool. And there, one of my homeboys from high school pops out of the pool. He's stark naked too. And there's that moment where like, okay, we're from San Jose. We're used to being clothed. But boom. You're just like, it's Santa Cruz.
Someone's hanging dong.
It's summer.
Someone's hanging
Of course
dong.
you're naked. It's no big deal. So it's like, that's the thing is it's a matter of social moray. It's who you're hanging out with. It's all about the appropriateness of your circumstances.
I definitely am a little too religious because I just can't I can't handle the
what's wrong?
the moment. Unless
God
it's a
gave
nice,
you that
unless,
body. There's nothing more religious than reveling in the
it's-
nature of your body.
I'm sorry, unless we're in a bathhouse somewhere on the west side, I don't want to see dong hung. That's the only
If
time.
that's the price you pay for female beauty, I'm down.
I'm more used to dongs being hung in a room full of sweaty men.
You know, I got nothing against church. As a matter of
Nothing
fact,
wrong with that.
I think it's great.
Johnny
I think
Allen.
church.
I think that's the
it's
best.
like I think church is good. Like, but when you're not trying to control nobody, when you're just a clan and you guys get together,
No,
you guys
church
have barbecues
is a measure of
you guys share the
control.
same. You guys share the same views and stuff like that. But to control someone is when you lose control.
Well, I love our church on the country because I mean, if they had an only Christian policy, they would have closed their doors a long time ago. So luckily, they have a Christian policy toward anybody, like whether you're New Age or hippie or kind of Buddhist or agnostic or atheist or whatever. If you want to come down and sing songs and have a picnic and hang out with your neighbors, it's totally cool. For me, that's the only true Christian church in the world is where they don't really care what you call yourself as long as you show up and want to be a part of the community. Yeah. So that's why, and again, when they ran out of Christians and had me do the service on Easter of year 12, I was happy to do it because that's where we went back. Because one of the old timers had a rough-hewn wooden cross up on the top of a mountain.
Ooh, I like
and
this.
you had to get up. You had to get up at 6 a.m. So it was only people who were like
Yeah.
really serious about basically farmers.
Well,
And it was
son-
everything. You had old, crusty, ultra-conservative farmers who, you know what I mean. They make conservatives on TV seem like liberal wackos.
Well, they yell at the conservatives on Fox
Right,
News
for being soft
for
on
being
communism,
soft on
right?
everything.
Meanwhile, they're right there with the new generation of all the
And
young
what are you supposed
lesbian
to be
ladies
easy on-
who are
on-
like the cutting edge of farming technology, and they all get along because they're all down with whatever magic spirit makes the plants grow. You know?
Yeah, and with that, let's roll it along, Jake. That's if I want to do the formal introductions because everyone knows.
Are we going to introduce ourselves?
We are. That's. I'm Johnny O,
I'm the great Walton Jordan.
and
I'm
this
Jake Bowman.
that's Jake Bowman, and then over here hanging out drawing in the studio,
I'm Lorna
Art-
Alcana Art.
Artist in residence.
She's
That's
also
true.
a writer.
Yeah,
And
she-
then
poet.
there's
She
Rachel,
does that.
the engineer,
Poetess.
and she's also a musician
great
as well.
singer songwriter.
She's also the object of our idolatry.
Yeah, a little
Rachel's
bit.
an object.
What's
of our
idolatry mean?
Idol-
It means
Idolatry.
it's worshiping the goddess in the form of a person or a work of art, which she is. She's a work of art and a great person.
Well, let's go though, because we've got some music to push through today, guys.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna hear.
Oh, before we hear any
There's
music,
music
though,
and
we
then
want to give a
there's
special.
cake.
Hold on a second. We want to give a special shout out to Carl Kolowski. Yesterday was his birthday.
Oh yeah, happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
Carl.
buddy! It
Happy
was a
birthday,
great
Carl
show at your
Kolowski.
birthday. I wish everybody was at his party yesterday.
Holy moly, it was awesome.
I'd
It was
give
a great
shout outs to
time.
people whose birthday it is this weekend too, but they're
And
not listening.
happy birthday to anybody else.
Yeah.
Say it
He was
anyway.
drumming with the letters home
Yeah.
at space 1520. That was cool.
That was great. Letters home at Space 1520 this week. All sorts of fun stuff happens each week, and one of the things that happened this week was I did get to see Westerner at the House Blues on Friday night. It was a great night, and it was entirely too short, and it was not where they got to play their whole album because they've been doing a show or two where they play their entire album, Unreal City, and it inspired me. I'm like, I love this album, so let's play this album on the radio. Because I often say that we're doing old school FM radio here on the Sunday show.
So we're
And so-
play a whole album?
We're not going to play it continuously, but we're going to play the whole album today. And we're going to start out
A
Unreal
Westerner?
City by Westerner. We're going to start out with the first song, which appropriately is The Dawn of the World.
Westerner, by the way, is not just a band. You know they're fully functioning. In fact, probably the most esteemed West Coast cult to appear
They're-
out of the music scene. They are as far as I'm concerned, the preeminent new age hippie sex cult that's
They're kinda
happening
my
in the
favorite.
form of a rock band.
Well, they're kind of my favorite rock band, too.
Yeah, well,
in
they're more
LA,
than a rock
right?
band. There's a whole belief system there. You know,
My favorite,
Yeah, absolutely.
my favorite in LA is definitely Jerry Sandoval.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
everybody
Oh,
knows.
yeah.
And
Jerry
then,
is the hardest
and
working
then
man.
Blind Now. I mean, they just
Yeah.
to me they just remind me of the Eagles.
Yeah, if the Eagles were tough.
Well,
No.
no, the Eagles were tough. Please
Nah.
don't say nothing bad about the Eagles.
I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just gonna say.
I will.
I'm just gonna say.
Noted.
I will
don't
say
say nothing
lots
bad
bad
about
about the
Blind
Eagles.
Owl by comparing them to that.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. The
That
bird
Blind Owl-
name is the only thing similar
Yeah.
between those two.
Well, I
bands.
just I like the
One
Eagles.
sucks
I thought they were
balls and
deep,
one
and I
is great.
think Edgar and Blind Owl could go even deeper, just like
Yeah.
like those guys did. But they were a super band. Let's be honest, they were like a rock boy band put together. They were literally engineered.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they were whoever engineered that was a genius in my
I mean,
opinion.
it was.
Because Don Henley, oh my God!
Okay,
I
we're,
mean,
we're
I got a
done
man
talking
crush.
about the Eagles.
No,
guys.
no,
Sorry,
we're
I'm
not.
cutting everybody off now because
There's a new kid
We're
in town.
not
No,
talking
the
about
Eagles.
the Eagles.
The
Kid in
Eagles
town.
rock, baby.
We are
To
talking
quote
about
Don Henley-
California.
We are talking about
To
Westerner.
quote Don Henley, there's a new kid in town.
Yeah,
and that
yeah,
new
yeah.
kid is Westerner.
That's
They-
right.
they are.
Westerner is pretty dope.
And because let's
the
just-
homies
let's
in
start with
Westerner.
this, and it is the dawn of the world, and it starts like this because on Sunday.
Oh, Lauren's about to say
Can I-
something.
The-
Shut up.
I got one. No, whoa, no.
What,
you
what
say
the?
your thing.
Yeah, wait. What?
Finish your sentence.
No, it's you guys are all fired. I'm quitting. No
I want
one-
to hear a
I'm-
lady say
I'm
John,
something.
closing
this is
out the
mumbling.
studio
This
from
is
now
about
on. No.
Unreal City, which
What is that?
It's from T.S. Eliot's poem Wasteland.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I found the quote from the poem or the stanza that begins with Unreal City. So
Yeah.
I wanted like to
Yeah, go
share
ahead.
that.
Yes.
Okay. Unreal city. Under the brown fog of a winter dawn, a crowd flowed over London Bridge, so many. I had not thought death had undone so many. Sighs, short and infrequent, were exhaled. Exhaled. And each man fixed his eyes before his feet, flowed up the hill and down King William Street to where St. Mary Woolnoth kept the hours with a dead sound on the final stroke of 9. There I saw one I knew and stopped him, crying, "Stetson! You were with me in the ship at Malay. The corpse you planted last year in the garden. Has it begun to sprout? Will it bloom this year? Or has the sudden frost disturbed its bed? Oh, keep the dog far hence, that's friend to men, or with his nails he'll dig it up again. You, hypocrite lecture, mon semblé, mon frère." That's what I got.
Beautiful. Okay.
Oh, and the poem begins with, "April is the cruelest month.
April is the cruelest
Breeding
month.
lilacs out of the dead." Yeah.
We,
I don't know. April seems like the
we-
greatest month.
we
because
are
I know
here
a girl
in
who
July.
loves
It's
April.
nasty. Yeah.
yeah, you guys.
I love April, but I always remember that quote. April is the
Man,
coolest
where,
month.
where are we going with this, guys?
Well,
Westerner.
I know
The
there's a
problem is-
beautiful
to
girl
West-
who
The
was
problem
born
is
in
you grow up
April.
in California public
April's
school
Okay, we're
Gotta
cutting
be
all
cool.
there, Mike.
with
Let's go.
English poets.
So this is Westerner, the dawn of the world on Sunday. final question. Marching in entourage to the gates of heaven. I don't know where I'm going to as I search for mystery. I point my starship straight into the cold black heart of space. That's why I love Westerner. That's what I love most about them. They're a great band. They sound great, but man, I love the lyrics. Nah, they sound fun. They like they've read all the same sci-fi and fantasy books I've read. You know, well, some of them. You know, I'm working on it. We're getting through it. Little bus ride at a time. I'm making it through Game of Thrones now. That's a lot of book there. It's a lot of book. I heard it was really thick, but I don't read paper books anymore, so I don't know how thick it actually is. But yeah, it's a nice thing about like electronic book readers now is that no matter how big the book is, your little book reader thing never gets fatter. You know, and I was thinking maybe in the future when we get magic technology, like it'll automatically get fatter. It'll morph its shape so it's a little bit fatter. So like when you load up a new book, it'll have like this transformable technology where it turns into a fat book. So you know, because it's like
convenient. Why would that?
It's yes, it would be less convenient, but it would be cool. Because then, like when you load up a big book, you know, like oh yeah, I'm feeling smart because I'm reading like 1,300-page freaking book, and
I can imagine there'll be another way of expressing that, like how like big your book is, like or how philosophical or whatever. I'm sure, like maybe on the side there'll be like what is this called?
The spine. Yeah.
The spine will somehow be able to explain that you're cool or that you're reading a magazine or that you're reading, you know, Chaucer or whatever you're reading.
I was thinking more Jake. Yeah, thank you, Jake. Jake is our pronunciation expert here.
I used to work down the street from
the
office in St. Pete.
Yeah, Dostoevsky and the brothers.
And Crime and Punishment. Oh,
Crime and Punishment. Those are horrible books.
Oh, I loved Crime and Punishment.
Oh, those are horrible.
It's like, it's deep. It's burly.
Yeah, it's deep.
It's well written. It's so insanely written.
Oh, yeah.
I was reading Nikolai Gogol the other day, and my God, that guy's psychedelic.
That is.
Holy moly. I had to, it just took so much work to get through one of his short stories, and when I sat down, I was like, I had to rest. After reading the book, I was reading short story. I was like, I need a break after that.
It's
With books like that, my mama reads just like a few sentences a night before she goes to bed, and sometimes she'll read like the same sentence again, but it, you know, just to take it in. She was never into poetry. She, like very literate woman, but just a few sentences a night, and then eventually she'll finish the book and enjoy it. But she'll take it in.
I enjoy.
I love
Smart
Gogol
way.
because he's got Ukrainian stuff in there that doesn't translate into Russian, and so I kind of turned to him recently because I was like, okay, because that's the thing is like Russians are like, oh, Ukrainians are just like bad Russians, and the Ukrainians are like, no, we're free, we hate the Polish, but we're more like them. You know, it's complicated, and I don't mean to like, you know, demeanify anybody's national identity.
I think he actually is demeaning Russians.
But the Russians have a saying about...
But it's all right, because they're all former Soviet fuckers.
Language is a dialect with an army. Right?
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Maybe.
So that what's interesting is that Gogol, he only went with the Ukrainian thing when he realized that in Moscow and in St. Petersburg, there was this romantic ideal that Ukrainians were sort of funny and southern. You know, like there was a cachet to how folky and country people from Ukraine were. So he literally writes back to his mom, and the Ukrainian tales all come from getting his mom and his neighbors to send him information that he ignored growing up because he was raised a good Russian, like about all this Ukrainian culture. And that's what made his stories blow up big and be big sellers, was how kind of Ukrainian and funky they were. I mean, he later did him around, but...
The coat, there's one that in the namesake.
Yeah, well, there's a couple. There's the St. Petersburg stories. There's and the Ukrainian tales were his first ones. But you go.
Well, okay, in the namesake by Lahiri, the character is motivated in particular by a story he read by Gogol, and I think it was called The Jacket. I don't remember the jacket, the coat. That was just a supplementary side note. If it was a link, you could have clicked on it.
You guys are getting into some weird stuff, man.
Well, just bring it back to music. Gogol Bordello, right?
Well,
Did you ever
Go-Go
Did you ever
Bordello.
see the movie of him where that Russian model he was dating refused to be in the movie?
The what?
That he was dating this Russian model and she refused to be in the movie, and then it's obvious about 15 minutes in the movie that the woman doing the documentary on him also has a huge rock star crush
Yeah.
on him, and so it's a hilarious movie just for that. Just because, you know what I mean?
Only falling apart.
How many women can just embarrass themselves throwing themselves at a gypsy rock star? It's pretty cool.
I don't know, but I was having nostalgia this week for I went to this bowling alley. I went to a bowling alley. It was down in Santa Monica. I was like, wow, they have a bowling alley in Santa Monica.
They do?
Yeah, and it was kind of cool. Small, but cool. And it was a real bowling alley, not like a hipster bowling alley.
How many lanes, and what's the distinction between a hipster and
the Lucky Strike is hipster, right?
What
Lucky Strike over in Hollywood and Highland.
what makes it hipster?
It's like there's
got
like
mustaches
there's like
and stuff.
8 lanes. It's it's like always bumping techno, like music. It's more
It's
of a
always
nightclub.
Cosmic bowling. That's what
It's
we called
it's
it when I was a
always
kid.
cosmic bowling. It's not even cosmic bowling there. It's just a nightclub with bowling lanes in it because someone thought it was a good idea.
But this
The
place,
Persian who opened that place thought it was a good idea.
Cuidado.
And no, what? It's true. It was the Persian who opened it. What do you want? And no, but they're this place. This is actual. The one thing is, it's AMF, which AMF is one of the big. That's the big corporation that owns all the bowling alleys across America.
American Military Friends.
It's not that. No,
Amish, more.
I think it was originally American Motor Foundation. They used to make cars and motorcycles, and actually they used to make chopper bikes in the 1970s. AMF bikes. Anybody? No. No one even knows what a fucking chopper bike is. Hipster kids.
Yeah.
Hipster kids know chopper bike. Remember the muscle bikes? The little, like a Schwinn Stingray? You know?
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, we could wheelie on all day long.
I thought you were talking
Right.
about motorcycles.
No, bicycles. Like the little early 70s bicycles.
Well, you said chopper. I know what a chopper is.
Well, I know.
Like
It's-
Pulp Fiction, right?
that's what
like,
I was
baby,
saying.
this isn't a motorcycle, it's a chopper.
Yeah, that's a motorcycle thing. That's what I was talking about. We were talking more
Chopper is this?
about early 70s. There was this thing that if the kids want to find something cool,
That's that, baby.
it's all about finding muscle bikes because muscle bikes are like the coolest of cool. One of the coolest people I know, most fashionably cool, is Michael Jasorka. Right? Michael's got himself a muscle bike, and I'm like, of course he does.
And he
Of
wrote a
course
comic
he
about
does.
it.
He's
Called The
so
Bike.
unintentional
Yeah,
about it,
it's-
though. It just naturally flows out of his
Yeah, he's like,
aesthetic.
of course.
You
How could I not love this bike? It's so cool. You know.
can't love Michael.
I wonder how he's doing.
How is he doing?
I wonder if he finished with his album.
What? What's the question? Lorna's got a
No, I feel like you were on a different trajectory
what
before
about
the
bowling
muscle
alleys?
bikes and the choppers.
yeah bowling alleys and
Bowling
Santa
alley, yeah.
Monica.
So what was the one that wasn't the hipster one that you went to?
No, it's the AMF. I don't know. It's the bowling alley in Santa Monica.
So it had like more than 8 lanes and
Oh
there
yeah,
were
it's
bright lights
probably
and the people didn't
24,
have
about
mustaches?
24, 25 lanes.
Damn, it. Where
And it's-
like everyone had their own
Well, it's
bowling
Santa
ball?
Monica, so it was nice. They
Oh.
have nice booths and everything, and they had the mix. The crowd was largely a mix of white kids and Asian kids, you know, and it was decent.
Do a 300
But then-
easy?
What?
300 easy?
Dude, I do 320 when I bowl.
Is that
They-
possible?
No,
No, okay.
only if I'm bowling. That's because I actually like the last frame. I'll actually pull up a double strike from the or a triple strike from the surrounding lanes. I somehow split the ball into a quantum wormhole, and at that very moment, we knocked down all of the pins, all 30 pins in 3 lanes at once. So I get extra bonus points.
They have those stories about people who like cheat in poker by counting cards.
Yeah.
Maybe there's like a story about people cheating in bowling
That's
by
not cheating.
splitting balls.
If you can count cards,
Splitting
that's not
balls.
cheating.
Okay, not cheating. Well, according to the casino, it is. 'cause
it's not
No, no,
cheating.
even through the casinos,
Really?
there's,
They
They
there's
just
just
nothing they can do about it. There's
Well,
nothing they can
they'll
do about it. If
kick
you're
your ass
smart enough
out.
to count the cards, because it's a 3-deck system,
Uh-huh.
there's nothing they can do about that.
Really, I've
Really?
definitely heard otherwise.
Well, they'll
I mean,
kick you
Now,
out.
if you're
They kick
no,
you
no, they
out.
can't even. They could ask you to leave, but
They
they
will.
cannot blackball you. and they cannot. Back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, they used to be able to take you in back and break your fucking face up.
Yeah.
But now, just because you're smart enough to count the cards, they'll just say, "Oh, you won enough tonight.
Yeah.
Please give us a break and don't come in for like a week." That is the request now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I want to get smart enough to count those cards. But then, so with bowling, if you can, like, this is probably less likely, but be able to split the ball
Maybe.
in, like, a literal sense.
Yeah.
Like physical. Yeah.
Or
You
you
read
don't
that
have to
story.
do
Jake
it
can read that story.
physically. You could do it.
Oh, really?
Physically, but on a quantum dynamical, like on a quantum mechanical basis, where you actually just at the very, very split second, at that infinitesimal small portion of a second, where you could transform the ball, you could transfer the ball and teleport it from one lane to the other, all within like one Avogadroth of a second. You know,
Avogadro's
Avogadroth. It's a fraction. It's called one Avogadroth.
You just made that up.
No, it's 1 over Avogadro.
One
And it's
over
1 Avogadroth. Yeah.
10 times.
Yeah, whatever.
What was
Avogadro's number?
6.022
That's a thing.
times 10 to the 24 or
Yeah,
something.
6.022 times 10 to the
Ooh,
like that.
Rachel knows. What was it?
6.022 times 10 to the 20.
I always get it confused with
6.022
Planck, with the Planck
6.022
constant
times
there. That
10
was,
to the 23rd.
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of things.
What? It's there's
Well,
molarity.
it reminded me, what it was is it
Yeah.
reminded me of in the little songs that were playing in the bus that drove by. It also reminded me of I was having nostalgia for the old times when a bowling alley was a fun night, man.
Yeah.
Or a roller rink, man.
Roller rink.
Roller rink.
Ooh,
You know, like,
Chelsea
man.
Monet, hashtag peace love. What is her hashtag?
I don't know.
Practice love.
Practice love. She was on her rollerblades.
Hashtag next
Or
Monet.
roller skates.
Classic roller
At the
skate.
events, yeah, and she's
Yeah.
starting a roller skate gang. So in case anyone has some roller skates, or
Street
has like
roller skates.
somebody to throw down to buy
You guys
some,
ever
We
have-
should totally
do that.
start a roller skate.
Did you guys ever
It'd be
have
so
like
convenient.
did you ever have like the street
your
skates when you were a
cars.
kid with the metal wheels?
I never got into roller skating.
No, I had street skates with the metal wheels. That you know, like way back. That's actually how they did it. Yeah, you had metal wheels on your roller skates, and they were horrible.
Yeah, that sounds. My brother was a skateboarder. He actually had a shirt that said "Rollerbladers suck"
Oh yeah.
because like there's like that
Well, you know what we
the
call them.
competition.
Yeah, it's like.
Well, you know the
kayakers
colloquial
and
name
surfers.
for them is fruit booters.
Really?
But that's what we always called them in my action sports crew. It's the fruit
You have an
booters.
action sports crew
You know, in the suburbs, there's actually an action sports crew.
that uses a gasoline or none.
No, we're non. No, that's I gave up the. I left the redneck cruise way back when I was 15. So gasoline has long been out of it, but
you
that's
skated
the-
away on your fruit.
that's the
booters.
board. No boards. I ride a bike, but
What's that called?
bicycle, token
Oh.
biker. I was always token biker, as we would call it.
I was just
'Cause,
wondering if like roller skates are called. What was it?
Fruit boots,
Fruit boots.
rollerblades,
What are bicycles called?
bikes.
Just bikes.
Yeah,
Okay. They don't
bikes.
have like fruit bikes, banana,
No,
No. apple turners.
Pussies sometimes, or crazy. It depends.
There's
Depends.
cool bikes and then there's less cool bikes.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you
there
can get a
are.
red line or a mongoose, that's a cool bike.
Yeah.
You get a huffy, you just got your bike.
Oh,
Yeah.
Huffy. There you go.
And that sets it straight.
That's true. Let's
we
go
ready
back
for a
into
musical break?
We're coming into a little more music.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna take some music.
Well, Unreal City. One of the things I love about this album
I'm gonna launch back
is
into
that they
Russian
tell
literature,
stories.
if you're careful.
They tell stories with their music.
Well, they've got a whole magical cult thing happening.
And the next
I
three
miss
songs
that in
coming
rock
up.
and roll.
The next three songs coming up, they really do tell a story.
Well, Westerner little kids, you got to go see this band because if you've ever seen one of those festival bands that think it's some kind of religious revival, when you see Westerner realizing that they are a band that thinks that they're a band that's a religious revival, but it's tongue in cheek. It's so funny. So if you've ever had to sit through that on the festival scene out in the country of like, wow, I think the lead singer really does think he's Jesus. you know what I mean? Like, because it happens out in those festivals.
I don't
It's
think
like,
he thinks he's Jesus. I think
No,
he thinks
no.
he's Horace.
No,
but,
no, that's what I'm saying. Westerner
like,
sets it straight. They know exactly what kind of wackiness they're getting into.
They've fully got it.
They have a sense of humor about it. Whereas you're going to go out on the rock festival scene, you're going to run into bands that actually think they're the second coming. Like, who was that one band from the Midlands of England? Never mind. So that's the thing, is that here is a band
I think he was talking about
sophisticated enough to get that it's part of the humor. Okay, yeah, Harrie is here.
Harrie Trotman.
Legendary rock and roll artist.
And
dropping off a capo for
and we are going to
artist.
start. We're going to go in with the Golden Age and the Silver Age and the Bronze Age.
Okay, Harrie's gonna
Let's go.
On the radio. Let's have some Harrie.
When love is born, it flies across the glistening twilight sea, then sings its little lie into some fool's ear as he sleeps. That is how you came to me. It seemed as if you were from my dreams. Now you've gone and slipped away, just at the break of day. I smell your scent, I feel your touch, that fade as I awake. That is how you came to me. It seemed as if you were from my dreams. My dreams. My dreams. My dreams. Everybody knows it that you got it. Everybody knows it that I want it. Everybody's hooked on it. Everybody wants it. We've got the itch. Everybody wants to take someone home for the night. Everybody knows that drugs don't solve it. Everybody knows that
They shapeshift into bankers and politicians. High-level officials all working with them. The 12 sons of the light dimension. Interspatial, alien, traveling men. The beast will rise to claim the Godhead. Undersea black tentacles, faces. You can identify them by their cat eyes. It doesn't make any sense with your rational mind. You want to put chips in our brains and hands. You have to tear it apart to understand. They are aliens from the fifth dimension. Casanova would try, but he's a Havisham man.
There's a serpent underground. He's gonna rise up and destroy this town. Throughout this city in infernal flames. He's gonna make all the sinners pay. Give me another chance, mama. I'm gonna fight for a lifetime.
I can't stop these birthing pains. The beast will rise when she wants to again. The great bitch heathen will sit on green calves, upon a throne of buildings and feed on men. We're going into the fifth incarnation. Take my hand, you spam can.
There's a serpent underground. He's gonna rise up and destroy this town. Throughout this city in infernal flames. He's gonna make all the sinners pay. He's gonna rise up and pop the crown. All these towers gonna tumble down.
I'm in conversation with the poison. They have controlled the world since time began. There's an angel waiting out in the system. Like a nebula, they're gonna come and save us. You need to give birth to be a man. They make diseases to trim the population.
There's a serpent underground. He's waiting patiently to take this town. Throughout this city in eternal flames. This city will be microwaved. Gog and Magog are watching too. He's gonna come with the blood red moon. There's a serpent underground. He's gonna rise up and destroy this town. everybody's gonna grow. I got a taste of your little equivocator. I like it so much I apply my oscillator. Links to the sun like an electric modulator. Giving out frequencies of fucking numbing amplifier. I wanna sing hallelujah. I wanna get down and give it to you. I wanna get you down on your knees. Say
hope you guys enjoy this as much as I do. Because this is the album I've been sleeping to for the last week. Just all night, man. I'm listening to this thing over and over and over again. And I'm just taken by the dreamlike lyrics that Cooper Bombadil is just throwing out there. This guy, he's something else.
I'm not gonna lie. I just feel like I'm living a dream because I get to hang out with artists and musicians and actors and dancers. And my life used to be waking up and going to an office that I hated and making my mom happy, which my mom's not happy, but I still get to hang out with artists, man. I mean, it's like a dream come true. It's like I'm living a movie, man. In my opinion, hanging out with Westerner, hanging out with Johnny, hanging out with everybody, man. Jake, storytellers. Everybody's just, it's like I'm living in fantasy land. It's like it's not even real half the time to me.
Well, we are in fantasy land, man. We are living it up.
It's pioneer land out there. It's
Yeah, I don't know if you've forgotten, but we are Titans. And we talked about this a couple weeks ago, what it meant to be a Titan, to truly grow large. And I noticed the other night me and Walton were walking through the city the other night. And it was late. It wasn't that late. It was maybe 9:30 at night. We were down over in one of the closed off sections by the jewelry district. And I noticed that, because I've been practicing self-awareness, physical self-awareness. And I noticed that my size had grown. And then while we were walking down the street, I was fucking 14 feet tall. Walton's still like 16 feet. But I think they call him 4 meters or something. No, 5 meters. He's the man of 5 meters. And that's not his height, people. That's not his height. But no, here we are, Sunday show. Johnny O, the great Walton Jordan.
That's me.
Jake Bowman.
That's Jake.
Yo.
My boy in the house. Remember to hit up his email.
Yeah, hit us up.
No.
Do it.
Yeah, jakebo.com. jakebo@gmail.com.
That's right.
Yeah. Hit him up. You guys want in on some amazingness at Radio Titans?
I got you amazing right here.
Yeah, we got your amazing. Come down.
Right
There's
here.
always something happening here on Radio Titans.
Yeah.
And we're glad to bring you something to do on Sunday morning while you're shaking off that hangover from wherever you were last
Coming
night.
to a new spiritual covenant with whatever.
If you're doing your laundry, you're maybe baking some muffins. I don't know. Go to the park. I hear we're working on all the mobile apps, so yeah, just look us up, Radio Titans. You can listen in live on your telephone in the park.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Living the dream, modern technology. Wow.
Yeah, it's great.
It's great and scary. But
I had a moment this week where I got home late at night after a busy day, and I sat down and I'm looking with the computer, and I'm going to check on RadioTitans.com just to make sure. I was just checking in on the site late at night. It's the tester in me, my quality assurance. Just got to check in, make sure everything's working right, what's on there. And it comes up when we were on the roll, the Sunday show, episode 17 or something. One of them was being replayed on our roll.
Oh, sweet.
At night, and it was nice to just come in and hear us, you know.
Yeah.
Because I love us. I don't know if our audience loves us that much. If our audience does love us, they could call us and tell us. 323-487-0766.
Yeah, 323-487-0766.
But, yeah, we would love to see, love to hear from you. Because we love us. We like it, what we do. And we hope you do, too. If you really like us, I mean, you should let us know. We want to like you.
Email Johnny at caffeinagalleria@gmail.com.
Or Johnny La Caffeina at gmail.com. Or, hell, you can do John Mark Owens at gmail.com. That one works, too.
You're going to give them all the way online with
That's not all my emails. Come on, man.
That's not all of them.
It's like
I got 2 of them.
That's got like 1/30th of my emails that I
got
have.
a Yahoo that I had for
You guys
like
could send it all to
10 years.
shaggy2m at yahoo.com. Yeah,
And I got a Google,
I use the
which
proper.
I don't barely use it.
I use the proper Roman numeral for my Shaggy 2000 name back in 1996 because Shaggy, 2K is improper. That's scientific metric thing, not the actual time that you would do. You would do 2 M's. It would be MM. 2000.
Millimeters?
No, 2000. In Roman numerals, 2000.
Kilo.
It's no 2000.
Well, right. K is short for kilo, as opposed to doing two M's. Yeah.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah. M is 1,000. Right.
M is 1,000,
For millennium.
and K is 1,000
For kilo.
for kilo. But they're two different things.
One's Latin, one's Greek, I think.
I think they're
Well, the
both.
metric-
they're
the thing is
both
about
Latin,
the
but
French-
one is time and numbers.
The
One
French
is
rationalists mishmashed it all together because you get a lot of scientific terminology from the Greek, and then there's a lot of Latin in there, and they sort of mash it together in a way that neither Greeks nor Romans would do. But that's where besides a few German terms. That's
Why is it
science.
called Roman numerals then if it isn't Roman?
Well, they were the numerals. I don't know where the Roman numerals come from. This older form of counting, but the Arabic numerals, the ones that we use today, came from India.
Oh, okay.
wow.
Because because the letters and the numbers had equal values. They come from letters, and they're also designs. If you notice, the number of corners, the numbers have that number of corners or points. So the shapes themselves, the geometry itself, it's numerology is a beautiful art.
Yeah, let's listen to more music, guys, because
Yeah.
we're trying to push
And
this whole
gematria.
thing. Let's play this whole album today.
Get that word up, kids.
Lobo by Westerner. You can find it.
I like the smell of smoke. I like the sound of gunfire.
are back in Gifting from the Heavens. Welcome back to the Sunday Show with Johnny O. And I was just saying off air that, man, Westerner was gifted from the heavens. They're a great band. I love their dynamic behind the scenes.
Yeah, I know.
And Dan Olson and Cooper Bombadil are both in, and Mike Gassel is in every band, needless to say. But Cooper and Dan, they're in Hot Sauce Holiday, which is a very fun band. And I love the thing about Hot Sauce is that I love that they're not just fun, they're great. Tickle, tickle, tickle. It's a great song, not just a good song. Like, it's not just a good party song. It's a great song, too. That's fine. We're looking for that sponsor. Okay. Nah, you know who we're looking for. That sponsor. We want them bad. No, we do.
They don't appear in the art until we get the ink.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to blur you out, but if that corporation knows us, they should see...
As soon as they can afford Lorna, we might be able to talk a deal.
Yeah, exactly. But I do love the way they're put together, and they're a great band. But I was saying that the gift from heaven is Omar.
Omi the homie.
Yeah, Omi the homie. He came in there, and he's just like amazing. It was great this week. Got to see.
He's part of the Letters Home.
Got to see. He is playing for Letters Home. Yeah, too. And this week he played for Blind Owl. It was pretty awesome.
Oh, wow.
Blind Owl made a special appearance on what night was that, guys? Thursday? Friday night. They made a special appearance at the Lexington with guest drummer and guest bass, like Blind Owl, like Bizarro Blind Owl or Blind Owl from Earth 518 instead of 522. You know, nerds. No. I've wasted my life with comic books, people. So all I did was waste my life with comic books so I could make jokes about different Earths. Yeah, silly.
Nothing wrong with that,
Fanboy.
Fanboys. Let's get back to some poetry. And this song is called The Weird Sisters. And it starts off with poetry. Poetry is prophecy, and prophecy is poetry. And let's hear a little more Westerner here on RadioTitans.com. The Sunday Show with Johnny O and the Great Walton Jordan. Special guest Harrie Trotman in the house. Black Hole Past, right? And Jake Bowman, Lauren Alcana. What's up? Everyone, see you guys in a minute.
These bones are forbidden. business, but flesh is to find.
They found a hanging man this morning. They pulled his body from the river. Some poor sap hung him up to dry. Then tried to hide him in the water.
They found a hanged man this morning. They pulled his body from the river. Some poor sap hung him up to dry, then tried to hide him in the water. That's a song there, people. If you had any questions.
I thought you were quoting a song.
That's the song. That's the end of it.
Is that
That's
the
Westerner.
song?
That's the Weird Sisters.
Man, I was just rocking out to that. I was flying through outer
insane.
space in another dimension.
And then, that's right. And I love that this is a cohesive album. Go out and buy it. Westerner.bandcamp.com.
This is the kind of album you want to listen to all the way through.
Yes, you want it in your car, and you want to listen to it obsessively over and over, so you know the story.
Study its text.
Yes,
And then
study
because
the text.
You know what? I'm thinking I've got a magical spot for Westerner to play downtown. It is the Illuminati spot.
Uh-oh.
We'll be revealing more about it as the show gets closer. But
Yes.
I realize that with Westerner, we have to just bust it out right in front of the Illuminati because there's no other way to get around that.
Well, we're gonna bust another nut.
Well, I think because that's what we're talking about here is we're whipping out a lot of rock dick in front of the power
The world.
establishment elite of Los Angeles, which pretty much the world is well represented here. You know, it's a world city.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I want to be a part of the Illuminati, Freemasonry, and whatever secret cults they got out there.
Here's the secret. Are you illuminated?
Yeah, I've been learning a lot.
Then you're in, babe.
Yeah. Well, I just want to make that.
I'll induct you right here on the show.
Really?
Absolutely.
I've got a cat in the other room to kill.
No, man.
Oh.
We'll make it real. I'm real Protestant
I thought it
about
was
this
cool
sort of
rituals
thing.
and shit.
You
but-
can sort of daub him with your beverage just as an honorary baptism.
Well,
but
I'm just
letting you into the
joking
club
around.
right now.
I don't want to be a part of that stuff.
Okay,
well,
cool.
I do want to be a part of is if it's making money. If it ain't making no money, it ain't making sense.
Well, let's go on.
You know what I'm saying?
Illuminism by Walton Jordan, the great Walton Jordan on
Man.
Illuminism.
Yeah, and on that
if
note,
it ain't making money, have you looked on your money?
On
You
that
noticed
note.
the pictures they printed on your money?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
That's what they're doing, by the way.
Well, that's what that's what
So-
they need to do, and I need for more of that to be in my life.
There you
And so whatever symbolisms or whatever. I tell you what, man. I'd rather live on heaven here on earth than wait to see what's beyond. You know what I'm saying?
Amen, brother.
So here's the secret of masonry, real fast. Just build shit.
Well,
Just build stuff. Don't worry about they'll induct you into the
I'm
club
with you.
if what you build is cool enough. And then Rosicrucianism, for the rose, do it for the love of it.
Oh,
right?
I mean, I want to. Yeah, that's.
And then and then that's pretty much that's masonry. That's the Rosy Cross. And then what else? Illuminism. Yeah, be light about it. Like bring all your knowledge and your faith and your love and wisdom to bear on the project. Done. You're in.
Boom. I'm
That's
in.
it, baby.
Thank you, George Washington.
Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson.
All our dead white European male ancestors. I'm
white
invoking
man.
their spirits here. All kinds of voodoo on top of that. In honor, because we were all black Africans a long time ago.
Well,
So, it's all from the same origin, you know what I mean? Like, we dancing around a fire somewhere, whether it's Africa or Asia or
Oh, that just sounds so beautiful, man.
the
People
Americas.
dancing around the
Let's
fire.
dance around
That's
the
what we're
fire.
doing.
Especially at the beach or something like that, man. Or just, drinking. Some people smoking weed,
Yeah.
Maybe a couple doing cocaine. I don't know what, whatever you're into.
Whatever's going on in the parking
But
lot.
just as long as
those
we can all
kids are
The
dance.
point
doing
is, we're all
nowadays.
together around that fire. I'm with you.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I'm with you. And that's the thing is, all I'm saying is now that electrical fire are buzzing electrons flitting about in the machine like little electrical fairies flying around the world, emanating into outer space, all commanded by the angel herself, Rachel Odo.
And the thing this week is that I had a little beautiful. I heard a beautiful thing from someone. Actually, it was Austin White from Rivermaker. We were hanging out the other night, and he was saying he's an engineer, and so we were talking a little bit about electrons. And he said something beautiful, which is, electrons love to travel in a vacuum a lot more than they do in a crystalline lattice.
Ooh,
And that's a fucking piece of science
Yeah.
and art
That's
all
deep.
at once, man.
That's
That's
deep.
deep shit.
Because
Let's
LA
Let's
is
go
a
deep.
vacuum.
Hold on, let's
on
go
top of a
deep
crystal lattice.
back into Westerner, Unreal City,
All right.
live here.
From the crystalline lattice of
We're
downtown.
playing a record live
Vacuum Los
on
Angeles.
the air.
All right, Nicholas Tesla. I just have to say I
Space
watched that
Odyssey.
documentary, and I know that he has something to do with all that.
Yeah, Nikola
Yeah.
Tesla. Yes, absolutely.
It's a
We can all
wild
talk. We
cerebral
can take a
collision.
whole show to talk about that.
All right.
I'm born away to Oz. I want to say I know all there is to know. So give me all your love. Give me all your hate. I will fly with you to a starry highway. Space Odyssey, Westerner, RadioTitans.com, The Sunday Show with Johnny O, and the Great Walton.
That's me.
There is no up or down or sideways. I'm spinning round and round. And I couldn't care less anyways. Hyperion Settlers. Ugh. Wow, that is a tough phrase there. That's Hyperion Settlers.
Settlers?
Surf the flares with me while mute math music spins the spheres.
Mute math, one word, too.
Yeah, one word. I love that. Wow.
Math?
Those are some lyrics, people. Mute math. I have no idea what the fuck that means, but it's beautiful nonetheless. That's Space Odyssey.
I'm like, I'm one of those.
Space Odyssey by Westerner.
That's why I didn't like.
That's that amazing stuff we got there.
Tropic of Cancer, but it was too much French in there for me.
All gentil.
And then there was some German in there or whatever, and there was like, and that just pisses me off because I'm not going to go look those words up. You know what I mean? I'm
yeah,
not
you
that
should.
type of guy.
But that's the way that good reading comprehension comes about. Is going slow and doing reading.
But when I read a book, everything to me is like has to be done. It ain't like enjoyment for me. It's just get it done.
What do you enjoy, man?
Getting stuff done.
Right on.
Okay, let's play some more music. The Seventh Bardo. And we are back for a second. That's called The Seventh Bardo. Off on Real City by Westerner. We're fucking around in the studio Sunday morning.
You're hard on yourself, John.
And we're going to play another song. Channel 5. Unreal City.
Dan.
Westerner. Radio Titans.
Yeah. Play Dan.
You just heard two incredible little pieces of sonic noise from Westerner off their album Unreal City. And here we go with a big song called The Serpent. We've played this song before on the show. It's a great song. Let's go.
Thank
Hashtag alternative, hashtag apocalyptic, hashtag Black Sabbath, hashtag Deftones, hashtag electronic rock, hashtag heavy metal, hashtag indie rock, hashtag King Crimson, hashtag Led Zeppelin, hashtag psychedelic rock, hashtag the Mars Volta, hashtag the Matrix soundtrack, hashtag Tool, hashtag Los Angeles. Westerner. Find them on Bandcamp, westerner.bandcamp.com. That track was The Serpent. And here we go with Tomorrow, because everything's going to be all right.
Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. When you've lost a friend, time is at its end. You don't have anything left. There are people who want to help you, give you everything they have. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. When you're all alone, left without a home, there is danger all around you. Do not be upset, the fear is in your head. Do what you have come to do. Everything's gonna be alright. 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 Everything's gonna be
There we go. Everything is going to be all right, because it is the end of another Sunday. And at the end of this other Sunday, we have got a special guest in-house today. We have got Black Hole Past.
Hey.
Harrie Trotman, man.
Thanks
He's
for having me,
going
guys.
to play us a song out. He is going to play The Ocean, my friend. Thank you very much for tuning in this week, guys. We appreciate it here. And if you appreciate us, send us some money. 700 South Flower, care of the Johnny O show, the Sunday show with Johnny O and the great Walton Jordan.
Check out the Walton Jordan.
Keep us going. No, you can make it out to Radio Titan, and you can. We're here. We're looking for sponsors. We want everyone to keep us going, to keep this show and get it bigger and better and brighter and make everything amazing so that the sun comes out in the middle of the night. So the sun will be so bright that it'll actually burn a hole through the earth. So there's like sun holes through the earth.
Like a black hole in the past?
But no, like a hole coming up out of the ground where just the sunlight's so intense that it burned a hole through the earth. And it's just like a geyser of sunlight.
Nice.
With the black hole past. Thank you, Harrie. I'm so glad you dropped in today. Let's hear a song. And thank you, Westerner. I hope everyone enjoyed Unreal City. We made it through the whole album.
It was awesome.
Get on westerner.bandcamp.com. Buy it. Come see them play everywhere they play. And let's go out with this song. Live in studio, RadioTitans.com.
I look across the glistening water to find that you're so far away now. But I still believe one day we will make our way back. It's hard to perceive that my life could go on without your eyes. Wander into my gaze. You caught me smiling at the thought of you looking up at my way. But I still believe one day we will make our way back. It's hard to perceive that my life could go on without you. Are the ocean to my thirsty wonder. You are the windows to my blindness. You are innocent, captured intelligence, a beauty, a best friend, a blessing. But here we must give our parting words. The visit's over, but no, I'll keep your picture here inside of my mind. My mind. My mind, my mind.
Yeah. Black Hole Past.
Thank you guys.
RadioTitans.com. The Sunday Show with Johnny O. Thank you very much. July 20th. We have seen it through. See you next week, live on the air,
High summer.
12 o'clock.
It'll be it.
It's going to be an insane show next
Yeah.
week. I can't even talk about it.
Llama.
RadioTitans.com.
Be there.
Like us on Facebook, The Sunday Show with Johnny O and the great Walton Jordan.